Good morning, America, for our viewers in the West. Inside the attack on Iran, the dangerous heat, and we are storming into the week with a new NBA champ. New details on the U.S. attack on Iran's nuclear sites as Iran threatens retaliation. This morning, we're getting our first look at the strike, the largest by B-2 stealth bombers ever, dropping 30,000-pound bunker-busting bombs to take out the facilities. Now, the fallout over President Trump's decision. Questions over how much of Iran's nuclear program was destroyed. Plus, authorities here at home on high alert. And the concern about the safety of the roughly 40,000 U.S. troops stationed in the Middle East. We have full team coverage.
The attack sending oil higher overnight, why prices could rise even more, and what it means for what you pay at the pump.
Ooh, scorcher. More than 150 million Americans from Texas to Maine on alert. This road in Missouri buckling in the intense heat, sending a car flying into the air. Now where we could see the highest temperatures in over a decade. At least 50 records challenged this morning. Ginger is tracking the life-threatening heat wave.
After more than 100 days in ICE detention, Columbia University graduate and pro-Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil back home and telling his story in his first TV interview.
I felt like I was literally kidnapped.
What's next for the new father as he fights deportation?
Tragedy averted. A gunman opening fire outside a Michigan church during Bible school, sending kids running for safety. How a parishioner and security guard stopped the shooter.
Helicopter crash. Rolling over near a waterfront restaurant. How everyone on board managed to walk away.
What a win for SGA and OKC. He's the MVP. How many more letters can I use? Right? We're going to hear from some of the champs just ahead.
It's A-OK, and we're feeling good. Thanks, Robin. We're excited for that. Also, Beyonce had another surprise for fans. Lara will have the details.
And Ginger here, standing by, tracking the intense heat and humidity building in the Northeast. Some regions there, she's fanning herself, bracing for their highest temperatures since 2012.
But of course, we're going to begin with the U.S. attack on 3 Iranian nuclear sites. This morning, we're getting a look at some of the damage done over the weekend. Aerial images you see there showing impact on the surface. U.S. forces around the region and authorities at home are on alert for potential retaliation from Iran, warning its military will decide the timing, nature, and scale of its response. The U.S. has about 40,000 forces in the region, spread out among about 20 sites. We have complete team coverage, beginning with new details about the 36-hour mission of the U.S. B-2 stealth bombers that attacked Iran on Saturday. Chief Global Affairs anchor Martha Raddatz starts us off. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Robin. President Trump called the mission a tremendous success, a mission carried out with maximum stealth.
This morning, we're getting our first look at that extraordinary attack on 3 Iranian nuclear sites over the weekend. This fireball in the night sky, explosions heard in the distance at Iran's Isfahan nuclear facility. Part of the barrage known as Operation Midnight Hammer that included the largest strike by B-2 stealth bombers in history.
This is a plan that took months and weeks of positioning and preparation so that we could be ready when the President of the United States called.
The operation carried out in complete secrecy, beginning at 12:01 a.m. Saturday morning. About a dozen B-2 bombers taking flight from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Around half of them heading west towards Guam, those with trackable movements. This was a decoy. Another 7, those with transponders turned off and minimal radio communications, launching a short time later, heading towards Iran. The 18-hour flight to Iran, including mid-air refueling and in-air support.
The B-2s linked up with escort and support aircraft in a complex, tightly timed maneuver requiring exact synchronization across multiple platforms in a narrow piece of airspace, all done with minimal communications.
Approximately 5 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday, a U.S. submarine launching 24 Tomahawk land cruise missiles at key service infrastructure targets for nuclear facility Isfahan. By 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time, the 25-minute mission inside Iran's airspace activating. U.S. fighter jets sweeping in to protect the B-2s from possible enemy missiles and warplanes. The B-2s dropping 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrator weapons, also known as MOPs, or bunker busters, onto Iran's most complex nuclear enrichment facility, Fordo. Experts say it's carved at least 300 feet below the surface of a stone mountain and reinforced with concrete. The first time ever those bombs used in a strike.
The remaining bombers then hit their targets as well, with a total of 14 MOPs dropped against 2 nuclear target areas.
These before and after satellite images show the destruction at the targeted sites, what appears to be extensive damage in Isfahan. In Natanz, another critical Iranian nuclear facility, an 18-foot wide hole above part of what military officials say is an underground military complex. By the numbers, more than 125 U.S. aircraft, around 75 precision-guided weapons, a piloted mission that was a complete operational surprise.
Iran's fighters did not fly, and it appears that Iran's surface-to-air missile systems did not see us. Throughout the mission, we retained the element of surprise.
Overnight, those bombers returning to Missouri, military officials say it will take time to know the full extent of the damage.
And despite all the secrecy surrounding the mission, one of the biggest concerns is whether the Iranians were able to move the enriched uranium before the strikes occurred. Whit?
One of the many concerns. Martha Raddatz for us, thank you. And following the U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, Iran fired dozens of missiles at Israel. Our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, is in Tel Aviv with more on the damage and Israel's response now. Ian, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Whit. That's right. It just took a few hours for Iran to respond. Multiple missiles launched across Israel, one of them landing here in northern Tel Aviv. You can see the entire facade of this residential apartment has been ripped off. The Home Front Command now going through, trying to recover people's possessions. Again this morning, we've had repeated air raid sirens, more missiles launched from Iran. We've finally heard from Iran's supreme leader, posting on X in the middle of the night. He hasn't been seen for days now, but notably not threatening the US, instead saying that Israel will be punished. However, other Iranian leaders are threatening retaliation. One writing, Mr. Trump, the gambler, you may start this war, but we'll be the ones to finish it. Meanwhile, Israel launching more attacks this morning, hitting around the Fordo site. This is a site targeted by the US, targeting access sites. Images also showing them striking Iranian fighter jets, but in a clear attempt to undermine the regime. And after President Trump raised the specter of regime change, Israel also hitting sites belonging to state security, including blowing the doors off one of the notorious prisons used to house political detainees. Battle damage assessment now underway, but we have to wait and see how successful the US strikes were. But for now, this war, this conflict goes on. Rebecca.
Yes, it does. All right, Ian, thank you. We turn now to the White House and what we're learning about how President Trump came to the decision to attack Iran. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott joins us. Good morning, Rachel.
Rebecca, good morning to you. The administration went through great lengths to conceal this operation. I'm told the president gave the final order to his defense secretary on Saturday for these strikes to move forward. And this morning, President Trump now raising the question of a regime change in Iran.
This morning, President Trump floating the idea of a regime change in Iran after the United States carried out a strike on the country's nuclear facilities. The president posting on social media, if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? But his administration has been adamant that's not the goal.
Well, first of all, we don't want to achieve regime change. We want to achieve the end of the Iranian nuclear program.
This mission was not and has not been about regime change.
What we are focused on is not the changing of the regime.
And this morning, questions about how much of Iran's nuclear program was destroyed. The president saying it was wiped out.
Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
But the vice president, J.D. Vance, only saying the program was substantially set back.
But we feel very confident that the Fordo nuclear site was substantially set back, and that was our goal.
For weeks, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pressed the president to join Israel's fight against Iran because only the U.S. has the weapons capable of hitting Iran's underground facilities. A senior administration official telling me the president giving the final order to strike on Saturday while the planes were in the air and after diplomatic efforts failed. The president then gathering with his top advisors in the Situation Room as the operation was underway. In the final days, the president speaking with Turkish President Erdogan, hoping to arrange a meeting with Iranian officials. But sources say the supreme leader, fearing assassination, went into hiding and was unable to sign off on the meeting. All the while, the Pentagon was working on a different track, a highly classified operation to strike. As those B-2 bombers returned home, the president delivering this warning to Iran.
If peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill.
And this move by the president is dividing the Republican Party. He campaigned on keeping America out of foreign conflicts. So on one end, Republican leadership standing by the president, supporting this move. But a handful of Republicans are speaking out, including Congressman Thomas Massie, calling the president's moves here unconstitutional.
Rachel Scott, thank you. And moments after President Trump announced the U.S. attack on a social media post, our chief Washington correspondent, Jonathan Karl, spoke with him on the phone. John is joining us now. John, good morning. We've spoken quite a bit over the last 24 hours. So after these U.S. strikes on Iran, what's President Trump's plan now?
Well, look, I can say going into this attack, President Trump was very focused in his team on what would happen next. And what he was saying and what his team was saying is this had to be a one and done attack, an overwhelming but targeted attack focused solely on those nuclear sites. He didn't want to get bogged into a long-standing war. If there was follow-up to be done, it was to be done by the Israelis. But here's the thing, Whit. The decision on whether or not this escalates and whether or not the United States gets involved into a deeper conflict in the Middle East is no longer Donald Trump's decision. It is up to the Iranians. The Iranians have the next move. He's already said that if they fire back, that we have another round of attacks by the United States in the Middle East.
And then it's unclear what happens from there. So you talked about the significance of this decision, consequential decision. Could this define his presidency?
Without a doubt, this is the biggest decision he's ever made. And look, he's done something that his four previous predecessors all contemplated but didn't do. They all wanted to stop Iran's nuclear program. They all considered, but stopped short of a military action. If he succeeds without getting us involved in a long-standing war, a long, drawn-out war in the Middle East, this will be a tremendous success for him. Or it will be what one of his supporters told me earlier, before he made this decision, that if he does this, this could be the end of the Trump presidency. If he gets dragged into what he promised he would not do, another so-called forever war in the Middle East, it defines his presidency in exactly the way he doesn't want it defined.
Jonathan Karl for us. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And that part hasn't been yet to be seen. You're right, but thank you. The U.S. has about 40,000 troops at bases across the region. A key question this morning is whether they are at risk. Chief International Correspondent James Longman is in the region for us this morning. Good morning, James.
Yeah, good morning, Robin. There are about 40,000 American troops across this region and a variety of permanent bases and outposts, and they could all face reprisals following this U.S. bombing campaign. The closest targets are American bases in Iraq. They have been hit by militia loyal to Iran before, but you might remember in 2020 when Donald Trump ordered the assassination of Qasem Soleimani, that Iranian general, Iran responded by hitting those bases directly at that time. So they could do the same again this time. There are also American Syria. There is a brand new diplomatic mission just opened in Damascus, and there are, of course, massive naval assets all across the Gulf. They could get the Houthis in Yemen to fire on American ships once more. So they have options, but it is complicated for Iran. It looks like they might have used as much as half of their long-range missile capability. They might have rockets and attack drones in their arsenal, but their firepower might be limited. But the big picture here is Iran fundamentally just doesn't have that many friends in the region anymore. Bashar al-Assad in Syria is gone. Hezbollah in Lebanon has been severely weakened, and their own defensive capabilities inside Iran have been decimated by these Israeli bombardments. So the Iranians will want to respond with force, to show force, but they'll have to do it balancing their own survival. Robin?
Yes, they will, but we are thinking of our service members and their families. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, James. I was going to bring in our ABC News contributor, Steve Ganyard. And Steve, just walk us through why the U.S. military was necessary for this strike on Iran.
Yeah, Robin, decades ago when the Iranians began their nuclear program, they knew that they would have to bury and protect whatever they were doing in terms of enriching uranium. So they built these halls 200 to 300 feet deep, as Martha showed in that graphic. And so to get down there, you need a very big, very heavy weapon. The only country in the world that has that weapon is the United States. You also need a bomber. The only bomber in the world that can carry that specialized weapon is the B-2. So really, it was only the United States that could conduct this attack against Fordo and get down to those buried centrifuge halls.
And the Pentagon has said it is too early to know the full extent of the damage, though they say early indications are extremely severe damage and destruction at all 3 sites. How will the U.S. be able to determine, Steve, how much damage was done and what could be left of Iran's nuclear program?
Well, we can see the satellite pictures of Isfahan and Natanz, where all those facilities were on the surface, but we really can't know what went on underneath the ground in Fordo. So the president called it a monumental success, but it all happened 200 feet down, and we can't see with satellites. So normally, Robin, to pull apart a nuclear program, you need the cooperation of that country, like you did in Ukraine and the way we did in Libya. That is not coming anytime soon. In fact, this morning we heard an Iranian spokesman say, we retain the political will and the knowledge to reconstitute our program.
And we've been talking about this. There is speculation that they were able to move equipment out of those nuclear facilities before the attack. What more can you tell us about that, Steve?
Yeah, it's very hard to move centrifuges, Robin. So maybe they've got some material out. What's most concerning is there's 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium that is missing. Nobody seems to know where it is. With just a little bit more enrichment, theoretically, the Iranians could build 9 to 10 nuclear weapons.
Yeah. All right, Steve, our thanks to you for your insight. Thank you.
All right, coming up here, we are going to have some fun, you guys, because the Thunder is storming into that NBA title. We are in Oklahoma City, where they are celebrating this morning, and Finals MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander joins us live.
Yeah,
there he
look
does smile.
He's there at home.
Of course.
Yeah,
Plus, also ahead here, ABC News Prime anchor Linsey Davis is here with the first broadcast interview. Linsey.
Hey, good morning, Whit. I got a chance to sit down with Mahmoud Khalil, the Columbia graduate and pro-Palestinian activist, released on bail on Friday after being arrested by ICE agents. He spent more than 3 months in custody. I'll tell you what he said was the cruelest part of his detainment and what he plans for the future. That's coming up.
All right, Linsey, thank you. And new at 7:30, the heroes who stopped a shooting at a Michigan church that sent children running for cover. We have SGA and Josh Groban joining us live this morning. Oh, no, they didn't. Oh, no, they didn't. Beyonce and Jay-Z, stunning fans in Paris. Queen Bee, I tell you, she's full of surprises in the City of Lights. And Larry's going to have much more coming up in Pop News.
That Paris show has been pretty good so far, I think, right? More on that ahead. But first, new at 7:30 this morning, authorities are investigating a Facebook live stream from the shooting at Cross Point Community Church in Michigan that was filled with children during Bible school. Police said the 31-year-old gunman arrived at the church, immediately began firing, but never made it inside. A parishioner struck the suspect with his vehicle as the gunman shot the vehicle repeatedly. At least 2 staff members also shot the gunman. They say his mother is a member of the church and he had attended a few services there before. Also, take a look at this. A helicopter crashed and then rolled onto its side while landing near a restaurant on the waterfront of Lake St. Clair in Michigan. 4 people were on board, but no one was injured.
Thank goodness for that. Also this morning, we are remembering actress Lynn Hamilton, best known for playing Donna Harris on the 70s sitcom Sanford and Son. Over a more than 5-decade career, Hamilton also appeared on The Waltons, Roots: The Next Generation, and on Broadway. Lynn Hamilton was 95. What a legacy.
She was talented, and yes, she will be. Thank you. And NBA superstar Kevin Durant heading to the Houston Rockets. Sources tell ESPN that the Phoenix Suns have agreed to a blockbuster trade. Durant was actually on stage here at an event in New York when the news broke, and he said he's, quote, looking forward to joining Houston.
Making moves.
But right now we're going to make a move and talk about the NBA champions, the new NBA champions, the Thunder, rolling to the title, beating the Pacers in Game 7. Rhiannon Alley was there, and she's still there. Oh, did she come back? Oh, she's still there in OKC. I guess they're still celebrating, Rhiannon?
Hey, Robin, that's right. The floor may look clean, but crews are still here cleaning up from that big celebration, those buckets of confetti that fell from the ceiling last night. And fans will wake up celebrating. They are NBA champs for the city's first time ever. As this young team proved last night during Game 7, they were ready for their big moment.
The Thunder have taken the NBA by storm.
This morning, the Oklahoma City Thunder making history.
We rose to the moment, here we are.
The hometown crowd electric as OKC beating the Indiana Pacers 103-91 in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, delivering OKC's first NBA title. Fans spilling into the streets celebrating into the early morning. The Pacers in the fight for most of the first half, but losing their star player early in the game. Tyrese Halliburton falling in the first quarter with an Achilles injury, pounding the ground in pain. Helped off the court, he would not return. His family gathering outside the locker room after hearing the devastating news. The loss too much for Indiana to overcome, with MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander giving a performance worthy of the title, finishing the night with 29 points and 12 assists.
Watching Kobe get his MVP chance and chanting MVP for myself, winding down the clock, imagining a buzzer beater while they chanting MVP, and to know that that's my life now is crazy.
Joining the elite ranks of Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the only player to win the league MVP award, scoring title, and a championship win. Jalen Williams with a masterful performance in his first ever NBA Finals series. The pair now forever linked, drawing comparisons to Jordan and Pippen.
Me and SGA specifically, that's like my older brother. When I came into the NBA, I didn't expect to get along with the group that I had as well as I did. And so it's really cool that I get to win the first one with the group of people that I'm with.
I was just so focused on the next play, and when that buzzer went off, a lot of emotions hit me.
The team so young, they had to look up how to open champagne bottles on YouTube for their locker room celebration.
When the Thunder return here next season, they will raise their championship banner here in the rafters. And Robin, this was my first Game 7, and it did not disappoint.
It never does. It never does, Rhiannon. Thank you so much. And joining us now is NBA champion Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Give it up all for SGA. Getting up and joining us this morning. Oh, my God. How does NBA champion have a good ring to you, SGA?
Yeah, it's everything I imagined it to be. The opportunity has been amazing, and I'm happy and I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Okay, have you been to sleep, Shai? Have you been, because you look a little sleepy. Did you get any rest since last night?
I got some rest, not as much as I'd like, but hey, you only live once.
That's right, and you are living your best life right now. And okay, let's get into the game. You're down by 1 at halftime. Tell us what was going on in the locker room. What were you all saying to one another?
Yeah, we had 24 minutes to make our dreams come true. And we just wanted to lay it all out there on the floor. And we did a good job of that. We fought back, we came out, we threw the first punch, and we had a pretty big lead in the second half and just had to hold on until the end.
Yeah, and you did that, and the crowd was loving every second of it. And Rhiannon was just talking about this. You are in elite company, my friend. We're talking about Kareem, Jordan, Shaq, and now you, the fourth player to win MVP in the regular season, scoring title, and now the MVP of the finals. What does that all mean to you?
Yeah, it's hard for me to even wrap my head around. But it just goes to show, when you work hard, when you focus on the right things, when you take care of the right things, and you stick with that program for a certain amount of time, you can achieve anything. And most importantly, when you dream and go after it, that anything is possible.
Yeah, and Jalen, we heard from him just in Rhiannon's piece, and you all have a special bond. Talk about him not just as a basketball player, but as a teammate.
Yeah, that's my brother. I think throughout this experience, that's been the most impressive and fun part of it. Just to have this experience on this level and this stage, and share it with someone that you're so close with, it makes it so much more fun. It makes it so much better, and to share the moments with not only just Jalen, but 15 others that I'm super close with. We do everything together. We eat together. shop together, we watch movies together. Like, we are really brothers, and to share this with them has been special, and it's made it so much better, so much more fulfilling.
Yeah, it was great seeing you all in the locker room after, though you all had a tough time figuring out how to, pop the champagne. But you know what?
Yeah.
You're young,
we
and
we gotta work on that.
Caruso came through with you on that. You know something that you said, and I so hope, Shay, it is true. You said you had fun last night. Were you able to really be in the moment and have fun?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what's made us a really good group and a really good basketball team. Is like above all the pressure and the moment and the stage and the excitement around the NBA, we just have fun playing with each other, and we enjoy each other's success. And because of that, we're out there, we're selfless, and we get the best version of ourselves and each other. And the sky's the limit when you play like that and work like that together as a team.
I love that, the best versions of yourself. And can I say, I love how you spend time with the young fans before the game. You're out there and you're signing autographs. You are the real deal, and so incredibly happy for you and your teammates. And thank you for getting up or staying up and being with us this morning, Shay. You take care now.
Yep.
All right.
Definitely staying. All right, thank you guys.
All right, get some rest now. Thank you. Coming up on our next hour, his teammate, he was just talking about Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. They're going to join us live.
Definitely looking forward to that. Now, with Columbia graduate and pro-Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil in his first broadcast interview since his release on bail from ICE detention. Khalil spent more than 3 months in custody, becoming a father in that time. And ABC News Live Prime anchor Linsey Davis sat down with him. Linsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Whitney. He says that that's the hardest part in all of this, that he missed the birth of his firstborn child. Born in Syria to Palestinian refugees, Mahmoud Khalil came to the U.S. to study at Columbia University. It was there that he became the first high-profile arrest under President Trump's crackdown on students who joined campus protests opposing Israel's war in Gaza. And now he says the president is trying to make an example of him. This morning, Columbia University graduate and Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil is back home after 104 days in ICE detention.
I think that moment is indescribable. It's basically a combination of full of joy, but also, is this really happening?
A federal judge ordered his immediate release on bail over the weekend. The Trump administration argues his continued presence in the United States poses a threat to foreign policy and that he participated in protests that fostered a hostile environment for Jewish students. The White House has said that you distributed pro-Hamas flyers. Secretary Rubio said that you created an environment of harassment toward Jewish students. President Trump said, we got to get him the hell out of our country. Why do you think that you are perceived as such a threat?
Because I represent a movement that goes against what this administration is trying to do. They try to portray me as a violent person. They try to portray me as a terrorist, as some lunatic, but not presenting any evidence, not presenting any shred of credibility to their claims.
DHS lawyers also claimed he misrepresented information on his green card application, allegations he denies. Khalil's detention in March by federal agents in the lobby of his university residence is captured on this surveillance video.
I felt like I was literally kidnapped. All the know your rights that I have indulged myself into felt like nothing, because at that moment, ICE made it clear that you have no rights whatsoever.
Khalil's wife, Dr. Noor Abdallah, an American citizen, gave birth to their son Dean in April. ICE denied Khalil's request to be at his wife's side during the delivery.
That's the most cruel thing that any administration would do. Clearly, I was not a danger to the community, that they could have afforded me that opportunity to be with my son.
This is a movement, an anti-war movement.
Khalil was one of the leaders of campus demonstrations at Columbia in the spring of last year, protesting the war in Gaza.
Some Jewish students reported anti-Semitic incidents.
So there is no place, you would say, for anti-Semitism in the pro-Palestinian movement?
There's no place for any form of racism, including anti-blackness, anti-Semitism in the Palestine movement.
The Trump administration is appealing the judge's decision.
It's a very, very long fight. It may take years. But I will focus on is continuing to advocate for Palestinians.
Halil says that he now fears for his and his family's safety, but he says that will not stop him from speaking out and advocating for the plight of Palestinians. In fact, he took to the streets just yesterday near Columbia's campus, where crowds gathered to hear him speak. And you all can hear more of our interview with him tonight on ABC News Live Prime, starting at 7 p.m.
We'll be watching. Fascinating conversation, Linsey. Thank you.
Now with our play of the day and one delivery driver to the rescue. Lara's here with that.
I am indeed. Good morning. So guys, picture this. You're stuck on a train that's stalled in the sweltering heat with no AC. Pretty brutal. But suddenly an angel appears in the form of a delivery driver, passing out waters to stressed out passengers. I want you to see this video. Don't worry about that bridge. Not a problem. I said passed out, but I should say that he was chucking water. He had a great arm, great aim, delivering much needed hydration to passengers who, guys, were stuck for 2 hours. Special delivery appreciated by all. Thought you could use that in this heat.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. New details on the U.S. attack on Iran's nuclear sites as Iran threatens retaliation. Now the fallout over President Trump's decision. Questions over how much of Iran's nuclear program was destroyed. Plus, authorities here at home on high alert. And the concern about the safety of the roughly 40,000 U.S. troops stationed in the Middle East. White House press secretary joins us live.
The attack sending oil higher overnight, why prices could rise, and what it means for what you pay at the pump.
Barbara Walters, Tell Me Everything. This morning, we're celebrating her life and legacy.
Okay, let's go.
With two of the people who knew her best.
Plus, we're crazy in love with another surprise from Beyoncé in Paris. What fans have been waiting for nearly a decade.
And Josh Groban is here to raise us up as we start the new week, talking about celebrating high school musicals, new music, and he's saying,
Good morning, America.
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Monday. Good morning, America.
Ooh, new shot that we have coming. Love that. Good morning, America. And we love it when Josh Groban is here. We're looking forward to catching up with him in just a little bit.
Yes, we do. And Emmy winner Liza Colon-Zayas, who plays Tina on The Bear, will be here. We'll see what secrets of the new season we can get out of her. We love her, and that's coming up.
Absolutely. Also ahead here, how gas prices could be impacted as we take a look at the top stories breaking at 8. Starting with the U.S. attack on 3 Iranian nuclear sites. U.S. forces around the region and authorities at home are on alert for potential retaliation from Iran, with Iran warning its military will decide the timing, nature, and scale of its response. The U.S. has about 40,000 forces in the region, spread out among about 20 sites. Let's get right to White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt joining us now. Secretary Leavitt, good morning. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. So based on the latest assessments here, was Iran's nuclear program completely and totally obliterated, like President Trump said?
Yes, it was. And thank you so much for having me. It's great to be with you this morning. First, I want to thank, on behalf of the president, the brave pilots who flew nearly 40 hours and more than 7,000 miles from the middle of our country to the Middle East to conduct this incredibly complex and successful precision strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. This is an imminent threat to the United States of America and the rest of the world that presidents of the past have always talked about. President Trump is the first president with the guts to actually do something about it. And Israel, and most importantly, the United States of America, is a safer place today because of the brave men and women who flew those planes and who conducted this incredibly successful operation on Saturday night. So the administration continues to monitor the situation in Iran, but this was a great day for America and for the world.
And just to follow up for clarity, you said, yes, it was completely and totally obliterated, because there have been different assessments on exactly how much damage has been done.
We are confident, yes, that Iran's nuclear sites were completely and totally obliterated, as the president said in his address to the nation on Saturday night. And we have a high degree of confidence that where those strikes took place is where Iran's enriched uranium was stored. The president wouldn't have launched the strikes if we weren't confident in that. So this operation was a resounding success, and administration officials agree with that, as well as Israel.
So as you know, Iran promising retaliation now. Law enforcement agencies across the U.S. are on high alert for terror threats here at home. Are Americans safer today than they were before these U.S. strikes on Saturday?
The American people continue to be safe under this president and this administration that has done more to secure our homeland than any administration in history. The previous administration allowed 20 million illegal aliens into our country. This administration is focused on the largest mass deportation of those illegal criminals, many of them who do come from countries in the Middle East. Many of those were known terrorists, and this administration is detaining and deporting them every day to protect our homeland and protect the American public. That is always the president's #1 priority and goal. And just to be clear, yes, this strike on Saturday did make our homeland safer because it took away Iran's ability to create a nuclear bomb. This is a regime that threatens death to America and death to Israel, and they no longer have the capability to build this nuclear weapon and threaten the world. So not just the United States, it's a safer place, but also the entire globe.
And what about the 40,000 U.S. troops in the region right now?
As the Secretary of Defense and General Kane said yesterday at the Pentagon, we will take all measures to protect our military assets and our men and women in the region. We have already taken those steps pre-strike, and of course, we continue to monitor the situation post-strike as well.
Karoline Leavitt, thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks
Robin?
for having me.
Okay, Whitten, picking up on your conversation now to the evolving threat environment in the U.S. following the action in Iran. Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas is here with more on that for us. Good morning, Pierre.
Robin, good morning. It's a potentially dangerous moment, and FBI and Homeland Security officials know it. You can see stepped-up security in New York, L.A., and here in D.C. Last evening, the FBI reached out to governors and hundreds of law enforcement officials throughout the nation, encouraging them to stay on high alert with the FBI surging resources and redoubling efforts to talk to sources and reviewing intelligence to make sure nothing is being missed. On Sunday, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem issued a bulletin calling on the public to report anything suspicious, stating that what's happening in Iran brings the potential for increased threat to the homeland in the form of possible cyber attacks, acts of violence, and anti-Semitic hate crimes. The pressure on law enforcement mounting as the country is in a season of politically motivated violence, Robin.
Have to keep that in mind. Pierre, our thanks to you. And now the effects the conflict could have on oil and gas prices. So, Rebecca, put on your chief economic correspondent hat. And what do you see?
Yeah, so Robin, we've been watching the oil markets overnight to see their response. At first, they did spike when they opened up, but now prices this morning are up only about 1%. And a lot of this will depend on whether Iran follows through on its threats to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. This is a vital waterway between Iran and Oman, where 20% of the world's oil consumption passes through every day. If Iran were to close it for an extended time, Goldman Sachs believes oil prices could soar above $100 a barrel. Iran, though, has threatened this before. They've never actually followed through. And that's because oil is a huge driver of Iran's economy. It funds Iran's military and security. And a small amount of the oil we use here in the United States travels through that strait, but most of China's oil does. At the pump this morning, the national average is $3.22. Gas Buddy is forecasting prices could go as high as $3.50 a gallon in the days ahead. But because we didn't see that spike, because prices are up only modestly right now, they could actually, prices could inch up, not spike up. So what you're going to see at the pump when you go today, tomorrow, is not necessarily going to be a giant spike, but a little bit higher in light of what we've seen recently.
All right, and it is the season to get out there and travel.
It is. But the good news is prices right now in this season are about 20 cents lower than they were last year this time.
We'll take that.
Yep, got to keep it in mind.
Thank you, Rebecca. Coming up here on GMA in our morning menu, Beyonce and Jay-Z with a performance fans have been waiting nearly a decade for. That's coming up in Pop News.
Also ahead, Joy Behar and ABC News senior executive producer David Sloan, look at them. They're here to share their memories of Barbara Walters as a new documentary about her life and career premieres.
That's the fun of having everyone in the same house now. Plus, don't sleep on Birdie's Beauty Awards. Their top picks include the Goldilocks of lip masks and a viral hairbrush that's supposed to help detangle in record time. Could use that for my daughter. And $40 or less. Lara is here with a very special guest as well.
I sure am. Josh Groban in the house. We're always so happy to have him on the show. We have a lot to talk about, including an event that's near and dear to your heart. And also, we're going to talk about your dance moves. You ready?
I didn't think so, but I'm going to start stretching.
It's happening. Coming up on Good Morning America. Stay with us.
Oh, what a beautiful Monday morning here.
Look at that shot.
Hot, but nice.
Hot, very hot. Speaking of hot, boom, boom.
And nice, hopefully. Good morning, Robin. Good morning to you all. We are crazy in love with this first story. It happened on the Paris leg of Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour. During her final night in the City of Light, Beyonce bringing out a surprise guest. Oh yeah, who also happens to be her husband. And then they did that thing. Jay-Z and Beyonce singing their 2003 hit, Crazy in Love. Check it out. Yes. Do you want to show us anything? No? Well, just try to visualize Robin singing along, dancing along. It was great. Hey, this marks the first time in 7 years that Beyonce and Jay-Z have performed that hit specifically. The Carters went on to sing a number of other songs, including 2013's Drunk in Love.
I like that one.
I know you do.
Surfboard.
Thank you. This comes just a few days after Beyonce surprised her Paris fans by bringing out Miley Cyrus. That was fantastic when they sang Two Most Wanted. Beyonce now heads back to the U.S. to perform in her hometown of Houston, Texas this coming weekend. It's
gonna be big.
Gonna be big. Yeah. Hey, also popping this morning, it was a huge night in Oklahoma City, as you all know, with the Thunder taking home their first ever NBA title after an historic season. And this morning, we want to keep the celebration going with a very special pop-in. Joining us now, live from Oklahoma, newly minted NBA champs Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren. Good morning to you both.
Hey, looking good.
Looking good, guys. I know it's not easy. It's not easy. I want to just ask both of you, just jump on in. How does it feel, and have you slept at all?
Started off barely any sleep, but it's definitely warranted. It feels great.
Yeah, it looked great, guys. Congratulations. Jalen, what does it mean to have the first title for the city under your belt?
It's a surreal feeling. I think that's what makes it, that's the coolest part of the whole entire thing, being the first to ever do it. And in the time frame that we were able to do it in, I think is super special. It's something that obviously will go down in the history books forever, but when you're the first to do anything, it's like you're a pioneer, so it's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Congratulations. And Chet, you talked after the game about what a tough year it was for you, battling a big injury. Does that make this all the sweeter for you?
It definitely does. Without the tough moments, you can't really appreciate and enjoy the beautiful moments, and this is definitely one of the beautiful moments. I'm just really happy I could share it with the team, share it with the fans, share it with Mr. Bennett, share it with Presti, Coach Dagnall, everybody who helped us get here. It's an amazing moment, and it's well deserved. Everybody put in a lot of work for this to happen, so it's crazy to say that we're the NBA champions.
Yeah. And they did make you work for it, that Game 7, but boy, was it fun to watch. We were all just holding our breath. Jalen, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, said the MVP trophy was just as much yours as it is his. What did that moment mean to you, him calling you his brother?
It's dope. He's a great teammate. He actually is like a brother. It's weird. I feel like that's just how our team is. I feel just as connected to him as I do the rest of the team. So that moment was special for sure. He was definitely being very nice because he definitely earned every bit of that trophy.
Well, listen, it's a team. There's no I in team. You guys know that. You two were drafted in the same year. You're all growing up together as a team right there. How will you celebrate as a group? I know SGA said that you guys do everything together. You shop together, you eat together, you really do hang out. Will you do some kind of big celebration, a big trip? Maybe Disney World?
Honestly,
Disney World. I didn't even think about that.
I'll pass on Disney World. But honestly, we're so young. We haven't really been through this moment before, so it's not like it's rehearsed or anything. We got to figure out plans on the fly. I'm sure there will be a busy group chat tomorrow figuring out what we do before the parade. But whatever it is, it'll be fun. We'll enjoy it together, just like we did this whole season. And then after that, we can't wait to spend the parade with the city.
Yeah, we can't wait to watch it. It's been really fun watching you guys, cheering you on. You just had a remarkable season, and so nice for you to stay up. I know your first order of business is probably to go to bed. So we thank you guys. Congratulations to Jalen and Chad. We're so happy for you.
Chat, what were you saying? We were dipping in. What were you
I'm not going to bed.
You know?
I love it.
I thought that's what you said.
Let it continue.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys very, very much.
I'm here now with The View's host, Joy Behar, and longtime ABC News senior executive producer, David Sloan. Glad he's getting some FaceTime. They're here to talk about the new documentary, Barbara Walters, Tell Me Everything. Yeah, it's great to have you both here in the studio. Now that we're all in the same house, it makes it a little easier. You don't have to go across town a little bit.
That was one of the only good things about getting up that early this morning.
Oh, come on, Joy. OG, you're one of the originals.
I am.
Now, is it true that Barbara booked you, because you were at a Milton Berle birthday party together?
It was Milton's 89th birthday party, and he had a lot of people there. Regis was there, Barbara was there, and I was doing stand-up. And I did my act. And I think the bit that got her was about how Salman Rushdie, even though he was in hiding for 10 years, managed to get married 3 times, that the men will always find somebody to get married. She liked that. Mm-hmm. She said to Regis, "Who is that woman?" And he said, "Oh, she has a radio show and she's da-da-da." And then after the thing, I said to my husband, "How was it?" And he said, "Well, everyone was laughing except Barbara." And I said, "Oh, well, I'm not going to work with her, because everything was an audition. I'll never work with Barbara Walters. So what if she wasn't working? Laughing.
Yeah, right.
So P.S., I was working with her.
But that was typical Barbara, though. Of course she wouldn't be laughing, but she was in her mind.
She was studying me.
Yes,
I used her on The View.
Yeah.
And then they called me and I got the gig.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's worked out really well.
And she fired you twice.
She fired me twice. In the 29 years that I've been there, you can subtract 2 years. I was fired, and then she brought me back.
And you're still there to this day?
I'm still there, yes. The second time she fired me, during the commercial break, she said, "Tell them you changed your mind." I looked at her like, "What? You're the one who fired. You have to tell them you changed your mind, not me."
I know, and I love how David's producing over there. Like, hey, thank you for the follow-up there, David.
Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, you knew her better than most people did, David. What set her apart from other journalists?
I think it was her ability to ask cringy questions that other people might avoid. And, like asking Chris Christie if he was too overweight to be president. Or asking Streisand, why didn't you get a nose job? And you kind of were cringing, but people wanted to know that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she knew that it would be grabby. And she went there. So she kind of taught me how to ask questions, and all of America to ask questions and be fearless about it.
Yeah, but she was also fair about it. She had a way of doing it. It wasn't trying to be like
That's
a gotcha.
right. With dignity.
Yeah, with dignity.
That's right.
And that really did set it apart.
I agree.
Because you did want to know those things. She would ask a question, you were like, I'm glad someone's finally asking that.
But the other thing is that the questions revealed her own insecurities.
Right.
Like saying to Taylor Swift, you're rich and famous. How are you going to find a man?
Yeah.
That was one of her worries. How am I going to find someone?
She found a few men, though.
Yes, she did. At least 3 we know of.
That we know of.
But she also would speak to the Shah of Iran and basically call him a misogynist to his face.
Yeah.
So she was good with that.
What do you think most people are going to be surprised when they watch this
Barbara? Well, I think that I'm not sure that people understand that she's pre-Me Too. So she had to put up with sexual harassment and also just plain old sexism from people like, what's his name, McGee?
Frank McGee.
Frank McGee
At the Today
and
Show.
Harry Reasoner. It comes out in the documentary that they didn't really want her around. They didn't like she was making money. They didn't like she was sitting next to each other, and she just had to put up with that and put on a good face, you know.
She would be covering a state funeral, and they would ask her from the desk, "So what is everybody wearing down there, Barbara?"
Yeah.
Well, black.
Condescending, sexist.
Yep.
But did that ever get to her? Did you ever sense that it was like something that bothered her?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was always
She
a
didn't
great
like it.
disappointment. Always a great disappointment.
But she had her
and
eye on
anger.
the prize. You know, she knew what she wanted. She was ambitious, which is also, eschewed with male chauvinists. They don't like that a woman is ambitious.
Yeah.
And best at all of them.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm a booster, so.
I know.
She did, though.
Yeah, she did.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the clip so everybody can see.
The View was my idea. I didn't know anything about daytime television. It was a simple idea. Different women of different generations sitting together. You're not married, you're not married.
And don't want kids.
And don't want kids. And in its way, it was the first.
The one thing that you shouldn't take is stuff from the White House.
If everyone stole something from the White House, Barbara.
People thought, who wants to listen to a bunch of women? I thought women want to listen to a bunch of women.
She knew it. I mean, she was ahead of her time.
I was not on the first show. No, because originally Barbara was going to be on 2 times a week because she was too busy doing his show. And then 2020, as she used to call it. And then I'd always make fun of her and say 2020. And then 3 days a week I would show up. So the first day I was not there.
But you know what? She was so generous. People don't talk about that. I remember the first time I met her, I sent her flowers, and within a week I got a handwritten note from her.
Oh, she's very big on handwritten notes. No
Very
emails.
proper.
Oh, yes.
Yes, very kind.
Yes.
Who would she want to talk to today?
I think she'd probably want to talk to a big newsmaker, Trump, who she knew was at all of his weddings.
And had interviewed him before.
That's right. She would want to talk to probably Khomeini now this week.
Netanyahu.
Netanyahu. Maybe would have gotten them together like Begin and Sadat. Who knows? But she could have pulled up in terms of the choreography of that.
Yeah. But we have such great memories of her, and I know that you all. And thank you for sharing it. Thank you both very much. And I want people to know.
The documentary is very good, by the way. I just want to say that.
It's really terrific.
Yeah,
You'll find things you never knew about her.
Barbara Walters, Tell Me Everything, streaming now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. Thank you both so much.
Thanks for having us.
You got it. Josh Groban is here live in our brand new studio. Come on back.
Welcome back to GMA, live from New York City.
And joining us now is a dear, dear friend, Grammy-nominated singer, songwriter, actor, longtime friend of our show, Josh Groban.
Lovely to see you.
Just released a new album, Jim's Deluxe Edition, and is getting set to host the 2025 Jimmy Awards. Always wonderful to have you. It's the second year in a row.
Second year in a row. I mean,
What brings you back?
What brings me back is that, I did it last year, they asked, and I've always known about the Jimmy Awards as somebody who has
And
always...
explain what it is.
So the Jimmy Awards are basically like the Tony Awards for high school musical theater. And so it's near and dear to my heart because I was that kid. I was the kid that would sing along to these cast albums and audition for all the high school shows and really found my confidence doing these shows when I was a kid. And so we didn't have the Jimmy Awards when I was young, but to be able to watch these young people, the future stars of Broadway, do their thing up there and to see the nerves and the camaraderie and all the preparation they have, I had to come back. It's a salve for my soul in this crazy world.
So I hear at age 5, you knew you were destined for the stage. At 5?
Well, I was so lucky that I had access to great art. I mean, growing up in Los Angeles, like being in New York, I mean, I always tell parents that if you think that you've got a kid that might have the spark for something artistic, just put them in front of it. It doesn't need to be pressure. It doesn't need to be a push. Just make sure they get to access it and see it. I was the kid who sat in the audience and said, I want to tell those stories one day. I want to do that. So 5, I didn't really know if I had any ability. I just knew that I wanted to. I wasn't sure. No, I didn't really feel like I had any ownership of this until I was like 28 years old. But it was something I always loved for sure.
And the Jimmy Awards showcases these young kids, and I know that's so important to you. Whether it's musical theater or whatever your interests are, you're all about students, kids, just being who they are.
Yeah.
Like, what makes you different? I feel like that is one of my favorite things about you, and what your message is that it's okay to be you.
Absolutely. The arts are such a tool to unlock the people, that are trapped sometimes inside of us when we're feeling lost and feeling insecure. I was a really shy kid. I was a kid who had a really hard time making friends in school and kind of sharing what my voice was, and having the arts, having those teachers that pulled that out of me. Really is the reason why I'm here today. And so something like the Jimmys, I'm in awe of the talent. Every time I see one of those performances, I think to myself, well, I'm going to be buying a ticket to see this kid in a Broadway show. But honestly, the arts in schools, it's not really sometimes about whether that person's going to be a superstar. It's really just about laying the foundation of building the human being for whatever they're going to do next.
Right. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about education. Sometimes you're not really learning the thing itself. You're learning another set of skills that go along with it.
You're learning about empathy. You're learning about, there's been studies that show that arts in school, raises math and science and graduation rates and all kinds of other things. So it is vitally important, especially now that it's being cut at a very drastic rate, that we have that access in schools.
I got to ask, on a less serious note, I read that you play video games to unwind.
I do.
Were you playing video games in high school too, or is that like a new thing?
If the Video Game Awards want me to host for them, I'd be thrilled. I know all about them.
You and my son.
My thumbs are bruised from all the video game playing. I do. It's my jacuzzi, like my head jacuzzi, when I'm like after a stressful day. My dad, who's almost 80, he loves video games too.
You and your dad play together?
So you know what? We haven't actually played together, but whenever I call the house, I'm like, Mom, what's Dad doing? He's like, oh, he's upstairs doing the shoot 'em up stuff. He's doing,
Wow.
It's
Dad's on the game.
I bring the Nintendo Switch with me on the tour bus, and honestly, like after a couple hours on stage, you just need something to wind down. And for me, it's been great, and also great video game music. There's great music being recorded.
Yeah, that's true.
What game of choice? What's your fave?
Oh, game of choice. Oh God! At the moment I'm deep into Mario Kart. That's the one that I play with all my friends.
Can't go
I've
wrong.
just learned how to do the skid, so that's been a game changer for me. I'll get you on that, Rob.
So you were here recently. We were talking about the Gems album, and then now you have the deluxe edition with all these amazing duets and performances. Andrea Bocelli, Sarah McLachlan. Yeah. But are there any performers out there, any artists that you'd love to sing a duet with that you haven't yet?
The duets, the collaborations are my favorite part of this. Whenever you get to sing with somebody that's especially in a different world than what you do, it's always a thrill. I'm on Barbra Streisand's new duets album, which is so honored to be part of that.
Yeah.
I would love to work with someone like Yo-Yo Ma. I've always wanted to put I feel like a baritone voice with a cello is always a good combo. I'd love to sing with Adele. Bjork has been since I was a kid and I was listening to her wild, crazy music. I've always wanted to sing with her because she does stuff with orchestras too. So there's so many great new artists as well that I'd love to sing with.
Put it out there.
Put it out.
See what happens.
Now, is there a chance it's dance music? That was something that you...
Robin, I'm a double threat. I'm not a triple threat. I feel like I always, because my songs can sometimes be a little slower and a little bit more melancholy, I've always wanted to... it's like if there's ever been like a DJ or electronic artist that wants to use my voice for something very high energy, I would be more than happy to do that.
That's a very
I just wouldn't be able to dance along with everybody in the audience. I would just be the guy like in the shadows, But
video game collaboration.
Listen, my video game avatar could probably dance amazingly. So GTA. Also, if you're watching, put me in your new game. I'll dance away.
We put a lot of ideas out there for you in 4 minutes.
This is a think tank. You're helping with the next chapters of my career here, Jimmy.
Hey, Josh, you have a home here.
You're
whatever you
want.
want.
I always have the best time. Thank you so much for all you do and for having me.
You're very welcome. And we want to let everybody to know the 16th Annual Jimmy Awards will be live streamed on YouTube and Facebook starting tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
We're back on GMA with Emmy-winning actress Liza Colon-Zayas. You know her as Tina on the hit show The Bear, and she's here to dish, if you will, on the highly anticipated new season. Give me your hand. It is so good to see you again.
Thank you.
What a moment it was. You were walking off the stage, holding that Emmy Award. I was blessed to be able to talk to you seconds later. Has it sunk in yet? I know you were just like, I'm living the dream. You love this show so much.
Love it. I do. I love my job. I love my cast, the writers. Wow, it happened.
It did. There you are. We have physical proof. So, Liza, what can we expect for the upcoming season. So many people looking forward to getting The Bear back on the air, and it's here. It's this week.
Yeah.
What can we look forward to in this highly anticipated season 4?
Reckoning.
Ooh.
Everyone individually and as the Bear fam is going to have some major reckoning and accountability and stress and
more stress.
Yeah, we kind of do that really well.
Really well.
And I think people are going to get more of what they're addicted to.
Yeah. And I want to ask you specifically about Tina, your character. Remind us where we left her at season 3, and if you can share without spoiling about your journey, about your character's journey. So season 3, Tina.
So season 3, Tina, we learn her backstory.
Yeah.
We learn her history. We learn why she rolls through the world the way she does. And then we see her come through the other side and really invested in raising her game and bringing everybody with her.
That's awesome.
And so we are going to see more of Tina really kind of head on with her challenges and her weaknesses and her courage.
What part of Tina do you identify with most?
All of it.
Really? Because I know you said that. You love this character.
I do love this character because it's as if it was like my life except in the kitchen. I understand what it is to struggle and feel like you have some security and that gets taken away, and the feeling that you might have an expiration date.
Yeah.
Or that you're not needed, and then to have in my life this reinvention.
Yeah.
And these blessings, just like Tina.
Yep.
I feel it, and I feel the love from people who are also.
And the writing on this show is just so brilliant.
Absolutely.
I want to switch gears and talk about your co-star, Jeremy Allen White. Have you gotten a load of him as Bruce Springsteen? Did you know he had that in him?
He is a master. He's real low key about it. I saw the trailer.
It's unbelievable.
And I'm always blown away from. I'm like, am I biased? No, I don't think so. He's extraordinary. I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. He's a good guy.
And the dynamic between Carmi, his character, and your character this season, what can we look forward to?
Loving, respectful, but every now and then I gotta give him a spanking.
Yes, you do.
But in a good way.
Absolutely, always. Love having you on the show.
Thank
Robin
you,
said you are just one of our favorites. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And we love The Bear, and it's coming back, everybody. Season 4 of FX's The Bear premieres this Wednesday on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. If you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? It's so good. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Now to a new initiative from Disney Junior and ESPN to help preschoolers get in the game and get involved in sports programs. GMA contributor Jess Sims is an ambassador for the program and is here to tell us all about it. Jess, good morning to you. It's great
Good morning.
to see you.
It's great to be seen.
Yeah,
Thanks
we're just
for
talking
having
about
me.
all the different things you're doing. Now you're an ambassador for this.
Yes.
Such a great campaign, but how is it actually helping preschoolers get involved in sports?
So I'm so proud to be part of this campaign. Now, Disney Junior and ESPN have partnered with this incredible organization called Every Kid Sports. And this organization provides grants to cover the cost of sports registration fees for families who are facing financial hardship. And as you mentioned, today is a very special day because they've expanded the age group to include preschoolers.
And why is it so important? Do you think sports, maybe kids that are a little bit older, but for young children to go out there and get moving?
Well, absolutely. So I've been an athlete my entire life. It's been part of my identity, but I was also a teacher. So I taught 5th grade, I taught 3rd grade, and I taught kindergarten and WIT. Nothing lit the kids up more than when they were moving their bodies. So to have this kind of access at an even younger age to learn lifelong skills like discipline, hard work, commitment, they'll be working with teams, so they'll communicate better, they'll work on cooperation. The possibilities are endless, and to have this again even earlier, unbelievable.
And for me too, sports just the foundation of so many things growing up
Absolutely.
in life. Yeah, Jess, thank you so much. Always appreciate it. It's good to see
so much.
you.
Great to be seen.
Of course, we'll be reporting on the Let's Play initiative all summer long, and you can scan the QR code right there on the screen to see how you can apply for one of the grants at everykidsports.org. Thanks again, appreciate it. Coming up here, Star Donaldson is here with Birdie's top beauty products, all $40 and less.
We are back now with beauty products that'll give you that ultimate glow for summer. Birdie Magazine is showcasing their annual Beauty Awards biggest roundup ever, and social media director Star Donaldson joins us with their best everyday essentials for $40 and under. They're all shoppable right on our website. So great to see you.
Yeah, so great to see you too. Thank you so much for having me.
And I'm so excited to talk about this because I'm always looking at your site for information about the best beauty, and I love this. So this is the Goldilocks, you say, of lip masks.
Yes, so our Birdie Beauty Awards, they're back, they're bigger than ever, and we're so excited to talk about these products today. So this is the first product in our best lip mask category. So this is Drunk Elephant's Plump C Tripeptide Lippy Mask. And as you said, it's the Goldilocks of lip masks. It's not too heavy and it's not too light if you want to try it a little bit. It's fragrance-free, which we love for those with sensitive skin and lips. And it really has a cushiony texture that doesn't leave you with that sticky feeling, which we love.
Right, it is nice. Now, do you wear this at night or do you wear it during the day?
You
or
can
both?
wear it at night or during the day, and it's packed with peptides, so it's really treating your lips as well.
Yes, so smart. Okay, this is you say the eyeliner that's not coming off anytime.
We love this eyeliner from Stila. So this is their Stay All Day Set and Smudge Waterproof Eyeliner Gel Pencil. So it's a little bit of a mouthful, but it totally packs the pigment. It has a smooth application and it lasts all day. So it comes in 10 different shades, and I personally am obsessed with this shade, Damsel Dark Brown.
Okay.
I'm wearing it today.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I love
great.
it. So I love that it gives me like a smooth line or a smudged out look, depending on my vibe that day. You can see, once I smudge it out, it stays all day.
You did that on your eye?
I did.
And it's so nice and sleek and everything. You got it perfect.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Josie Moran, I know her from other products. Tell me about this one.
Yes, so this is the Whipped Argan Oil Body Butter from Josie Moran. So in the tin, it looks a little bit dense, but upon application,
it smells good.
You can see it's soaked right into your skin beautifully and no greasy feeling left behind there. So it's formulated with argan oil, shea butter, and avocado oil. So all those oils we recognize and love. And it also has this really delicious,
I love this smell,
golden hour scent. It's a warm, sun-kissed vibe. It kind of transports you to your favorite beach. Am I right?
Yes, you are absolutely right. And it's perfect. Okay, what is this?
Yeah.
What are we doing with this?
So
this balloon thingy?
It's our tool. It's our best depuffing tool pick.
Okay.
So this is Skin Gym's facial glass cupping set. So basically, it's not like your traditional cupping set. It's not leaving you with any marks. It's just giving you a lifted, sculpt look. So the way that you use it is you apply a little bit of moisturizer, like you did.
Okay.
Oil, serum, what have you, and then you squeeze the cup to incite suction.
On your face?
On your face. I used it this morning, I used it last night. It gives me like a refreshed
And there's
look.
no splotchiness or anything like that?
None at all, just refreshed, depuffed, increased circulation, all of the good things.
So if you were doing this you could do it under your eyes?
I'm doing it like this. And this is the bigger version, so I use this on the larger parts of my face, and there's a smaller one to get closer to your eyes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm into that. I'm into this. My daughter has snarly hair. It's almost impossible to get the brush through it. Tell me about this one.
Yeah, so this is our under 35 category. So this is the Unbrush. So it is viral for a reason because it can detangle your hair in a fraction of the time. It really, really works. So it has 105 anti-static bristles that really go through any hair texture without creating breakage. So I use this one every wash day on my curls, and I love that it's
on your curls, yeah.
Yes, fully. And I love that it's gentle, it's easy to use, it's lightweight, and it saves me time.
It saves you time, and it's part of your beauty awards, and all of these products are, and they are all shoppable on our website at goodmorningamerica.com, or you could just scan that QR code. Thank you so much, Star.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Are you ready, Lara?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Did you see my Google eyes?
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
See you tomorrow.